I'm so excited for this video.
I'm going to say, feel free to jump in at any time.
It's literally like Vinnie Jones, Sheffield United. I'm pumped.
So this is more a video for you than it is for me, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be an education for you.
Okay, let's go. So I don't really know much about football, but I do know that snapping someone the fucking half is considered to be a big no-no, which is why I'm very excited to talk about Vinnie Jones, a man who did exactly that in 3 seconds in a match once. Vinnie Jones is just from an era when footballers were something else, isn't it? And Americans watching this might not recognise the name Vinnie Jones. I guarantee you might, recognise the face because he's been in a bunch of movies, usually playing Vinnie Jones. I don't care if he's playing Bullet Tooth Tony. No, he's Vinnie fucking Jones. And he always plays the same character, like a badass who no one messes with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people, I don't know why, it's because he earned that reputation as a football player, as like the hardest man in football, I think he was known as, isn't it? And you know more about like the sport than I do, so do you want to just give some facts out about Vinnie about shit that he's done before we get into the meat of today's article?
Yeah, well, basically, if you look at today's football, where it's all just falling about diving,
we've all seen the clips of like football player gets tapped on shoulder, goes down like a sniper round just hit them. My favourite being like when two football players are doing like the classic man thing of putting their foreheads together, like oi oi oi, and they both push forward at the same time and both go down. Right, so what the hell is going on here? Oh, my favourite, I think, it's like, I don't know the name of the player, but I distinctly recall a clip of like someone tapping someone on the shoulder. It's like, it's their own teammate, it's tapping on the shoulder, it's like, ask about a play, and the guy just goes down because he thinks he's been fouled.
Yeah, I mean, the one recently where someone threw a plastic bottle as Barcelona was celebrating, it hit one of the players. He looked around and then dropped to the floor.
That's the best one. Like, I always write, have you ever seen the Key and Peele skit of this?
I think so, yeah.
There's a Key and Peele, there's an amazing skit of like a football player who gets hit, and it goes all into slow motion, and he like goes down on the floor, and like he's getting carted out dead, and he just runs back on and scores a goal. It's fucking great.
Yeah, well, Vinnie Jones basically couldn't play now, because he'd be sent off every game.
Because, he was back when football players would just like get hit and then keep going.
Yeah.
So basically like female football players today. Like, so you must have seen like the comparison pics of like, here's like, the winning team from the Female World Cup. And it's like one of them got their head split open.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's still playing. It's like, and here's just like a clip of the highest paid male player in the world. And he's just down on the floor.
Because there was one bit in the World Cup that's just been where there's a player called Neymar. And he's laid on the side of the pitch and he's gone down and hurt himself. And there's a big melee around him. And one player accidentally, and he even sees it, taps him on the ankle, goes, oh, like that. Neymar looks at him and just screams and starts rolling around.
These are like huge, giant, buff men who run like super in shit. Oh man, I don't get who believes it. That's what I don't understand. Like, obviously, surely the referee must be able to look at it and go, you're clearly making this shit up. No what? I get it. If you're running at like 24 miles an hour and someone taps the back of your ankle, you're going to go flying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get that, and I understand that, but like, when they go into like the dying swan routine and they go down like a deer being shot in an art house film, just like in the black and white happens and like they fall to the floor and just like it fades to black and the wasted logo from Grand Theft Auto goes up over them. So, but Vinnie Jones, like, no, none of that. As I said, like the hardest man in football, I think he was known as a nickname he more than earned by just rubbing out everybody who dared stand against him when he had the ball.
And it's like, as much as he played for Sheffield United, which is my team, he was most famous playing for Wimbledon when they were called the Crazy Gang because they were literally 11 solid blokes who just knocked the hell out of anyone who played against him. And
no one wanted to play against him. There's that famous shot, isn't there, of him grabbing someone by the nuts and then crushing them with his hand?
Yep, as he just walks past him, just squeezes those testes.
A picture of which I'm presuming is right behind me now because it's one of the most famous images from his career because you just see the guy screaming in agony because this giant burly man has just got a hold of his nutsack and he's trying to rip it off his body. And I think, didn't Vinnie Jones say, I didn't mean it?
Yeah.
Like, after the fight, he said, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, that's just Vinnie in a nutshell.
Because it reminds me a lot of as a wrestler, I think it's called Yosef Ishmael, who was known as the Terrible Turk. He's the first person to have that nickname, a Turkish oil wrestler, who during one bout against another Turkish guy, I think he nearly ripped his ear off, broke his arm, and then fractured 3 of his ribs. And the fight was so vicious, a group of policemen had to come in and then hit them with like batons to pull them apart. And then they asked like Ishmael's like opponent, like, do you want to press charges? And he goes, certainly not. We were only wrestling. And it's like, I bet Vinnie Jones would be like that, like when he snaps someone completely in fucking half, and it's like referee goes up and goes, really, Vinnie? I'm just playing football.
Yeah.
It's a solid tackle. I got the ball.
Because I remember there's one clip where I can't remember if Vinny gets fouled or he does the foul, and they both absolutely clatter into each other, and then they both just stand up, shake hands, and just carry on.
Because that's what it used to be. That's when sportsmen just had sportsmanship. But the thing I love about this though is that Vinny has managed to translate that into a very successful acting career where he plays off that image.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite moment of him, on the silver screen?
It's not him per se, but in Meme Machine, because
Yes.
it's all about Vinnie Jones. And what we're going to talk about is that fast foul. I like to think there's that one bit when the monk, Jason Statham, runs the length of the pitch and just slide tackles.
It had to have been a knowing nod to what, we're about to discuss in a moment. Well, mine has to be his brief cameo in the film Euro Trip.
I've not seen this.
Euro Trip, they go to England, and in that film they end up in a group of soccer hooligans led by Vinnie Jones. And they somehow, I think it's Manchester United they support, and they say, we support Manchester United. We're from the American chapter of the fan club. And all the football hooligans look at them and go, yeah! And then Vinnie Jones does, and this is a skill I want to learn, when he opens 2 bottles of beer with his eyes. Where he just shoves the bottles into his eyes and goes, Gah! And I can open a bottle of beer or anything, but I can't do it with my fucking eyeballs. Or the other one where he's doesn't he do a series of adverts for the NHS?
Yeah, the Staying Alive one.
Where he teaches people how, fun fact, in the UK, you can learn how to do CPR from Vinnie Jones. Evidence now. And I just love that part where he comes on dressed like a traditional hard man gangster from East End of London. Well, first you need a geezer who's been recently knocked out and just dragging a dead body. It's here's one I made earlier, it's Blue Peter or some shit. But, oh man.
It's just the fact he's got the coat on and the rings and everything. He just looks like your typical London gangster.
It's just his costume again from when he's in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
Where he's just Bullet Tooth Tony. And he gets the thing where he gets shot 6 times and beats the guy to death. He just Kiryu's his way through it, man. It's fucking unreal. And let's talk about that. Fuck it, because I love this, man. It's one of my favourite tropes in fiction is big, scary guy gets an injury that would kill or fell a lesser mortal man and then walks it off like a badass as the person who shot them or stabbed them is just and Vinnie Jones does that as Bullet Tooth Tony. And then the one I was Kiryu in Yakuza. Spoilers for Yakuza 6. There's a moment in it where he stood there and a guy comes up to him with a metal pole and says, right, I've got your daughter hostage. If you go down, I'll shoot her. Yeah. And they hit him across the face with a metal pole and he just looks up and goes, all right, what's next? And the guy's all right, I think in Yakuza 0, a guy gets shot.
Yeah.
And the guy shoots him 3 times and he just pulls out a knife and starts walking towards him. It's and the camera cuts to black as he just hears guy, no!
He just regrets it.
So you got a moment like that from media or fiction that you quite enjoy or like?
There's one, and it's real, with Ross Kemp. When he went on this world tour looking at these gangs, and there's one where he's I think he's in the Amazon. And then the gang that he's visiting with his film crew turn the shotguns on him and we're taking you hostage. And Ross Kemp just looks at him drinking a bottle of water what are you doing? He's got a shotgun at his face. He's what are you doing? He grabs the shotgun, put it down.
That is just a moment stone cold badassery in it. It's nah, what are you doing?
It's just the way he just drinks his water. Why? Why this?
Because the other one for me is it has to be Warrior King.
Yeah.
Or Tom Young-gung or The Protector to Americans. And it's just Tony Jaa gets stabbed in the ribs while crying over an elephant and just goes, all right, now you'll die. And it's well, I'm sorry, I was mourning my elephant, now you have to die. And people probably wonder what the fuck am I talking about, go watch the video we did about that, because that film is amazing.
I'd never heard of it till that video.
It's so good. It's just he's crying over an elephant and he gets stabbed and it's people are going to, I'm sorry, but unbroken bones and now the rarest resource in this room. Go and fuck yourself.
Let's bring it back to Vinny now and his 3-second foul.
Yeah, you should probably explain how we are clarifying it's a 3-second foul and it's 3 seconds after the whistle blew.
Yeah.
Is it at half time it was?
I think so.
After the ball's reset position.
Yeah.
And for anyone not comprehending why this is so amazing, it's because when you do that, both teams have to stand on opposite ends of the pitch. And somehow Vinnie Jones was able to get halfway across the pitch and then take someone the fuck down in front of the referee and then get the whistle blown for this to happen. And according to him, it's he had a rivalry with some very unfortunate player whose name will be listed below, who had pissed him off throughout the match. And what Vinny did is, he just said, I think in his own words, he eyed him up. And he saw him and went, I'm going to fucking have him right now. And he started sprinting as the the ball was being set up for the ring. And according to him, he was at full sprint at exactly the halfway line as the referee blew the whistle.
Yeah.
So I give him he was at full pelt as the whistle blew, and he just ran and just completely took this guy the fuck out. And obviously, whistle blows, gets a yellow card for it. And I think he went and tackled him again.
Yeah, he got sent
later
off.
in the same match and got a red card.
Yep.
I think in his own autobiography, he reflects on it and says, yeah, probably not my smartest move. You could say that I was too young, too brash, but one thing you can't say that is I was too slow. And it's just like, oh, Vinny, you're so good.
I just remember watching it, and he just he gets to the where the ball is, and just shimmies around one player. No, not you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He moves out of the way of another player, like to prove I don't know how he got a yellow card for it when it's so obvious what his intention was. He was very clear that I'm going to kill this man. I'm going to run right the fuck through him and take him out. So wasn't there a player who did that recently? Broke someone's leg.
Yes.
Which players? You'll know this story better than I do.
God.
Is it Roy Keane?
Yeah. Oh, so the Roy Keane.
This is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, so Roy Keane and I think you're called Alfinger Harland.
Okay.
But if you're whoever's editing it, put the right name.
They'll be below us, yes. Point on the dick.
In effect, Roy Keane fouled Harland, but doing so broke his own leg. And Harland got up, went over to him and shouted at him and spat on him. So then Roy Keane just basically put that in his black book. So he healed his leg. Yeah, got better.
He was off by 6 months. I remember it was an altercation where the player was like, "You're not injured. Get up, you coward."
Yeah, that was
no, I brought my fucking leg.
Yeah. So then Roy Keane basically, when the next match happened, just waited for Holland to get the ball and just went up and just, honestly, it's the hardest kick I've ever seen. Broke Haaland's leg.
Oh, and then I hope he kicked him with the leg that he broke as well.
The thing is, he broke Haaland's leg. And then the referee came over to him and Keane just nodded, yeah, I'm going.
I know what I did.
And then he leant over Haaland to get up and spat on him. And he was just ultimate revenge.
I hope as well that while he was training, he only trained that one leg. It's I want to see a training montage of just Roy Keane in the gym set to push it to the limit. And just every time he's training, all he's got is just a picture of that other player with just a circle drawn around his leg. And he's just in a classroom studying human anatomy. It's where do I kick the leg to optimum breakage and agony inflicted upon this man?
Well, when I watch it, I actually think you're onto something there because it's not you don't just kick him like a football. It's like a kung fu kick in the side, right on the ACL.
Right to get purposely in a position where it's going to inflict maximum damage.
I think you're onto that.
But oh my god, and people are probably thinking right now, we're going to react to Vinny, a 3-second foul. I think some people say it's 5 seconds. Timings vary. Back in the day, timings weren't perfect, and that has to be the fastest foul in football. But no, we're going to do our pub quiz now, saying actually no, the fastest foul in football history goes to a player called Lee Todd, who got I think a 2-second foul.
And it's funny as
anything. And do you know the story behind this one?
Yeah.
Okay, well the story is that the referee blew the whistle right next to Lee Todd's ear, to which Mr. Todd responded, "Fuck me, that was loud," which the referee then heard, blew the whistle again and booked him for, foul language. And that to me is just fucking great. It's boom, start of the match, fuck me, that was loud, and he blows it again. You're booked, get off. Now, I'm pretty sure he got a red card for that.
He got sent off,
He got sent off, and bear in mind, he got sent off for swearing. Vinnie Jones got a yellow card for this. And I think that's the image I want to leave people off of British football right now. Just Vinnie Jones, he ended a guy's bloodline on the pitch purposely and willfully. And then he gets a warning for it. Lee Todd just says, "Fuck me," and gets a red one. So Adam, as the resident football expert of the channel, which is not a role I want you to feel proud of because I don't watch football and neither does anybody else involved with the channel, but I'm assuming you've now got more stories of fouls from, the history of the sport that you'd like to share with the audience at home.
Yeah, there's one which I was there in person, and I literally watched it. My team, one of my players, and
you thought you own the team.
I am the team. I am the club. And it's called Jay McEvely, and if whoever's editing it, I will send you the video.
Okay, so you took you got video footage.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And he literally, he was 2.5 feet in the air, 2-footed, hit this bloke in the side legs who did a flip, and then he literally got up, put his hand up to the referee yeah, sorry. A referee gave him a yellow card, and literally just 28,000 of us just went, How the fuck is he not sent off?
Well, right, there's a bit by Lee Evans about this where he said, and I think he just reiterates the thought a lot of people have about football, where it's not that players foul each other, it's not that players go down and fake it, it's that they'll do it and then pretend that no one saw. I think the Lee Evans joke is like, they'll snap a guy in half, like 100,000 people have seen you do it, like 1 million people at home watching on TV, and they'll go, what? What? No one saw anything, and the referee will come up and go, I didn't. It's like, just ask anyone in the audience. It's so stupid.
I mean, it's like, I always compare it to like ice hockey. Like in ice hockey, they are paid to beat each other up.
Yeah.
And then in football, you just go near someone and you've snapped the leg, they've
but
gone
it's
down.
Just the thing of like, they say, I didn't do anything. Like, 100,000 people in the crowd just saw you do that. And then because the referee didn't see it, it's like, apparently it's fine.
Yeah.
Didn't they recently bring in, or they're trying to bring in, like, it's the video referee?
Yeah, that's the ongoing thing at the minute.
And isn't that a controversy? Because I remember distinctly a friend told me about this, and he showed me the clip, or that screenshot, where they try to see if someone was offside, and they clearly drew the line on themselves, so the line's wobbling, and it wobbles round him and puts him, he says he's onside, but there's a line going round it to show, it's like, what?
Yeah.
How are you this bad? How much money's in football and they can't do that yet?
Yeah, it's ridiculous because it's just so dull. Like, literally every time there's a goal now, you can't really celebrate because they've got to go and review it.
You've got to get the video
and then
referee.
You wait for them to go, yes, that is fine, and then you can celebrate.
But I do like, though, from back in the day, there's all those goals that should not have been allowed. Like, I think at one of the World Cups, is it the famous the keeper who grabs the ball at the back of the net and then drags it back before it goes in? Yeah. Or like the Maradona. Is the famous one, the hand of God.
The hand of God.
Where he literally he puts his hand on his head to like guide the ball in and got away with it.
It's the fact that he's 5'6" and our keeper was 6'5",
and he got it past him.
Yeah, and Maradona got the ball. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but I just love all that stuff, all the controversy about like when it's so obvious that this was a wrong decision and they have to stick with it because it's what the referee decided.
I think the worst thing I've ever seen, and it was fucking hilarious, was the ball didn't even like go near the net. It was like 3 foot wide. It just missed the net, and the referee gave a goal, and everyone's like, "What?"
Do you know what I'd do in that situation if that was me though? I'd just stand up and go, "Yeah." I'd do that. The classic football stuff.
But the thing is, like, bear in mind, the player who had the shot knows full well
but it didn't go in.
It didn't go in. When the referee gives the goal, there's a bit of confusion. He starts celebrating.
Why not? Referee decision's final. Like, referee just rewriting the laws of physics right now. Let's go for it.
I fucking love football.
It's just when that happens, and then they have to overturn the referee's decision. It's like, you can't do that. It'll, affect the integrity of the sport. As we have a referee just clearly calling a non-goal as a goal. I just won one game, hopefully during the World Cup, like during a final, where the referee just goes full heel. Yeah. And just starts very clearly just being biased against one team, like, fuck you, you didn't win. And he starts doing that thing from... I forget what film it's in now. I think it's like Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Where Leslie Nielsen's like the umpire in baseball and just keeps calling the wrong thing just because he can't. And then everyone's arguing with him, so he can't. And the umpire, they've got to listen to him. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, well, like, kick it, and he goes like a mile off like into the air. Goal!
Because there was a TV show called Balls of Steel. And I don't know if you saw, there was one episode where they had a guy called the Bastard in Black. And he was a referee. And literally at the kickoff, he blows a whistle. They pass the ball. Blows it, handball, and literally sends all the players off, and he sends everyone off. He's like, "Do you want off?" Following around red card, and they just chase him off the pitch.
Oh man, gotta love it.